This tray doubles as a fantastic Mother's Day gift, and here to show us how to make it is our own DIY diva, Leigh-Ann Allaire Perrault. So, Ellie, I love how technically it's a practical gift.
It is.
But it is so luxe. Like, it's beautiful. I mean, come on, you have to agree. That's some gorgeous work you've done.
Well, you know, I kind of impressed myself with this one. And what I love most about it is that it looks difficult. Yeah. And I promise you it's not.
Do you promise me it's not? Because I would pay a lot of money for that thing.
I will even double down and say it was fun to do. Oh, this was a fun project. And it all starts, if you're creating this as a gift, I started with kind of the quintessential Mother's Day gift that most people phone it in with, no offense, but that's a bouquet of store-bought flowers. Right. I literally went to the grocery store, picked a bouquet with some colors that I liked, but what I was looking for was some really beautiful, kind of expansive blooms, something that would lie flat, because to do the tray, I dried all of the flowers myself. Okay. And this is so easy to do. You don't need a book and a brick to press them for 6 weeks. Yeah. This we're going to do in mere minutes. In the microwave.
In the microwave?
In the microwave. It is
how technology has helped us. We've come a long way, baby.
The thing I would suggest first is make yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, because you're going to spend a lot of time hanging around the microwave.
Got it.
But it's a very simple process. So you can see here, I've just cut right at the stem, some of the blooms off, and then you're going to take a couple pieces of paper towel and line on the bottom. You don't even need to, if you've got like the glass tray that comes in the bottom of the microwave, that's perfect. You don't need another plate. You're going to place the blooms facing down. And if you have something like a carnation or a rose, instead of squishing it in the center, I like actually having it fanned out with the stem. And we're going to place all of those down, put another layer of paper towel on top, and you can see actually my paper towel, it looks a little messy, because I've been using the same paper towel over and over and over again for the flowers. You don't need to, don't waste with this.
Julia Grieve would be happy you use the same paper towel.
Well, and of course it's going to go in the recycling bin after.
Yes, it will.
And then we're going to take my mom's Pyrex dish. I think we all have these in our cabinets.
I definitely have that. Yeah, my mom does too.
So something that has some weight to it. And you're going to place it on top. Now, you'll notice I didn't pre-squish the flowers. The Pyrex isn't even sitting flat. That's perfect, because heat and gravity are going to do their thing.
Got it.
You're going to put that in the microwave for about 45 seconds at about 70% heat. Okay. And then you're going to take it out and check it after the 45 seconds. Yeah. And you'll see that the moisture from the flowers starts to absorb into the paper towel. We're going to go again, put it in again. You're going to keep checking, because you'll find some flowers dry out faster than the other. So instead of just blitzing it for 5 minutes and having some really crusty flowers in there, we're going to do it a little bit at a time. Yeah. And then eventually you will find that you have some glorious blooms. Oh, can I pick these up here? Some really pretty blooms, and even you can do leaves, you can do baby's breath, you can do everything that comes in your bouquet. Yeah. And this is what is going to set the tone and become the gorgeous base of our breakfast in bed tray.
So this is gorgeous and a revelation, because a lot of us have not known that you could actually do this, like quicken the pace of the pressed flowers and leaves and what have you. But I want to talk about this tray for a second, because you've painted yours.
I did.
Pretty.
So I ordered this one online for about, I think it was $25.
Oh, good.
So it was a great price, but I didn't love the look of it. I wanted to level it up, so I used chalk paint in a blush pink color, which is just so subtle and beautiful. You can pick any color you want, but then I even distressed the edges a little bit. Like, I didn't want it to be too perfect, pristine. Right? Yeah. It's kind of like perfect by not being perfect. It's one of those. And then I just want to tilt this forward so you can see, because this is what we're going for. We're using all the dried flowers on the bottom. And actually, if I tilt it back, can you see that shine?
Yes.
It is an epoxy product that I've used over top, which is, it dries crystal clear, it is heat resistant, and super durable. And it's a product called Bar and Table Finish. Yep. And it's a 2-part process. So very, very easy to work with. I think a lot of people hear resin and epoxy and they think, oh, that sounds very complicated. Yeah. It could not be easier. Part A, part B.
Okay.
That's it. That's what comes in your kit. Now, in terms of the base, I use the tray, but I want to share a little hack that's super affordable that you could run out to the store and get today. Okay. I went to the dollar store and I found these they're wood canvases. And what's nice about them is when you flip them upside down, they're basically a tray.
It's a tray.
So it doesn't have the breakfast in bed legs, but this would be great. I love this size for maybe a bathroom vanity. Would be beautiful for some perfumes or makeup. So There's two ways to do this. The first way is, before we do the epoxy, to use a little bit of permanent spray adhesive and stick the flowers down on your tray first. So you can see they're stuck on there very well. I did this option because I had so many flowers that I wanted to layer them and really think through the process, which takes time.
Yes.
The other option is to just kind of place them into the resin, which we're going to do now. The thing with that is the resin or the epoxy does dry relatively quickly. So you have to be prepared just to make it up on the go. You can't overthink it. So to use the epoxy, part A went into part B. You can see little marker lines on the front. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. So you want to make sure that you measure properly. And then mixing is probably the next most important part because you need it really thoroughly mixed all the way through. Now, what do you see in that cup?
I see some bubbles.
There's lots of bubbles.
Is that okay?
It's okay. It's not what we want for the end result, but we're gonna fix that. So here's option one. We already have the flowers in there. We are going to pour the resin in, I should say epoxy, and making sure that it's on a flat, level surface. So we're going to put this in here. You can kind of move it around before you, just to coat all the areas before you place it on the surface. Now, all those bubbles in there, the camera might not be able to see, but we're gonna blast them. Heat gun. If you don't have one of these, use a hot hair dryer. But the key is to move around really quickly. You don't wanna hold this in one place for too long. But I actually love this.
That's so cool.
Because you can see all the bubbles go pop, 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 pop. And that's how you get that crystal clear finish on the top. The second
because
option,
I'm looking at this and I'm like, it's a skating rink. Like, how did you do that?
It is like
so
glass.
Good. Yeah.
The second option is to pour some epoxy in the bottom. I'm going to put this around, and you just need a very small amount. Oh, got a little piece of paper in there. A very small amount. You would coat the entire bottom, and then take all of your blooms and place them in the epoxy. I like using little tweezers to place them, but don't put the tweezers in the epoxy.
Oh, I could never be that person, Elaine.
You're the planner before. See, I already did that one upside down, but that's okay.
That would be me.
That's okay. We're gonna flip this over because it's gonna get covered anyway. So you would put all of your flowers down.
She's like just freestyling. It's probably gonna look as gorgeous as this.
No,
just
probably
freestyling
not.
it.
Probably not. Okay, we get the idea here.
Good stuff.
But the nice thing with this is, with the epoxy in the bottom, you can move them and place them.
Oh,
so you can make them look great. You're going to let that dry and then go in and do another coat over top. And even with this one, you can see actually it's already looking gorgeous. Once a thin coat's dry, I like to go in with a second coat just to make sure if there were any stems sticking up, like we're gonna cover that completely. I wanna show you one really quick thing.
Show me.
I had a little leftover epoxy when I made up the breakfast in bed tray. And I just happened to have some coaster molds kicking around that I've always wanted to use. Look at these. I poured the rest in, and they look so pretty.
They're so pretty.
So pretty.
This is an incredible, like, I just can't even believe it. Look at how gorgeous that is. So great DIY, just in time for Mother's Day. LA, you are so talented. You can find our step-by-step instructions up on our website.